French fries, French toast, croissant, wine, cheese. Do you know that French cuisine has influenced the world? It's true. Today we are going to take a journey through time to explore the rich history of French cuisine and its impact on our world today. You don't want to miss this. Bonjour et bienvenue. Welcome to my channel. It all started in the Middle Ages. Back then, French cuisine was all about the feast. Large communal tables laden with roasted meats, crusty breads, and sweet treats were the norm. The main courses often consisted of poultry, game, or beef, accompanied by an array of sauces made with wine and spices. Vegetables were also present, but they played a supporting role to the meat. And of course, no medieval feast was complete without plenty of bread. In fact, bread was so important that it was sometimes served as a platter for serving meat. It may sound strange today, but in those days it was a way to make the most of resources and ensure that every guest had enough to eat. These communal meals were not just about food though. They were a way to bring people together, to celebrate special occasions, and to show off the wealth and power of the host. But the real transformation of French cuisine began in the 17th century. This was the era of royal influence, and French cuisine became synonymous with elegance and sophistication. King Louis XIV of France was a particular aficionado of good food, and he surrounded himself with the finest chefs and food experts, elevating the culinary arts to new heights. Under his patronage, French cuisine took on a more refined and structured approach. Chefs began experimenting with new cooking techniques and ingredients, creating dishes that were not only delicious but also visually stunning. The presentation of food became an art form in itself, with chefs plating their creations in ways that were designed to impress even the most discerning diner. The 18th century saw the rise of some of the most famous French chefs, including Marie-Antoine Carême, who is considered the father of modern French cuisine. Carême developed a system for cooking that is still used in professional kitchens today. He also created many classic French dishes, including the sauce, mayonnaise, and was the first chef to serve soup in separate bowls, instead of serving it directly from the pot. French cuisine continued to evolve throughout the 19th century, with new cooking techniques and ingredients being introduced. The invention of the microwave oven in the 20th century revolutionized cooking, making it faster and easier than ever before. However, despite these advancements, French cuisine remained rooted in tradition. Classic techniques and recipes were passed down from one generation of chefs to the next, ensuring that the culinary heritage of France was preserved. In the mid-20th century, French cuisine began to be exported around the world. Chefs like Paul Bocuse and Gaston Lenôtre brought French cuisine to new heights, creating innovative dishes that incorporated the flavors of other cultures, while still remaining true to the French culinary tradition. Today, French cuisine is renowned around the world for its elegance, sophistication, and of course, its deliciousness. From the classic dishes of the past to the innovative creations of modern chefs, French cuisine continues to evolve and change while still paying homage to its rich heritage. Next time you enjoy a meal of French cuisine, take a moment to appreciate the centuries of history and tradition that have gone into making it the world-class culinary experience that it is today. Join me next time as we continue to explore the amazing history of French cuisine. Until then, bon appétit! Now let us take a closer look at some of the key moments and influences that have shaped French cuisine over the years. We'll start with the Middle Ages, a time when food was primarily seen as a way to satisfy hunger rather than a means of expressing creativity. During this period, the peasant diet consisted mainly of coarse grains, legumes, and vegetables, while the nobility enjoyed more luxurious fare. However, this was also a time when some of the basic techniques of French cuisine were developed, such as the art of making sauces and the use of herbs and spices to add flavor to dishes. The 17th century marked a turning point in the history of French cuisine. This was the era of the Sun King Louis XIV, who loved nothing more than a good feast. His court was a melting pot of cultures and a celebration of the arts, and food was no exception. Chefs were given free rein to experiment with new ingredients and techniques, and the results were spectacular. The classic French sauces, such as velouté, espagnole, and hollandaise, were developed during this time, as well as new cooking methods like braising and stewing. The 18th century saw the rise of haute cuisine, or high cooking, which was characterized by its formality and attention to detail. Chefs like Marie-Antoine Carême elevated the status of chefs in society and introduced new dishes like soupe au pistou and entrees composed of several courses. In the 19th century, French cuisine began to codify with the introduction of new cooking methods like stewing and poaching. Classic dishes like boeuf bourguignon and coq au vin became staples of French cuisine. The influence of other cultures, particularly Asian, began to be felt as well. In the 20th century, French cuisine continued to evolve with the rise of nouvelle cuisine, a style of cooking that emphasized lighter, more delicate flavors. Despite these changes, traditional French cuisine remained popular, and many classic dishes continued to be enjoyed by French people and tourists alike. Today, French cuisine is celebrated around the world for its sophistication and elegance. From the bustling bistros of Paris to the Michelin star restaurants of Lyon, France is home to some of the best food in the world. But it's not just about the food. The French way of life is deeply ingrained in the culture, and the country's rich history and tradition are evident in every aspect of French cuisine, from the presentation of the dishes to the ingredients that are used. And now let us transition to the modern day, where we can see the influence of French cuisine around the world. Whether it's the casual neighborhood bistro or the fine dining establishment, the influence of French cuisine is evident everywhere. The classic dishes and techniques have stood the test of time and continue to be enjoyed by people all over the world. So what are some examples of classic French dishes that have stood the test of time? Well, there's steak frite, a simple yet satisfying dish of grilled steak and crispy fries. Then there's coq au vin, a traditional chicken stew that is slowly braised in red wine and served with bacon and mushrooms. And who can forget about the iconic croissant, a buttery, flaky pastry that is perfect for breakfast or brunch. And what about the French techniques that have become staples in kitchens around the world? One example is the preparation of sauces, which is an essential part of French cuisine. A classic French sauce can elevate a dish from good to great, adding depth and complexity of flavor that is hard to achieve. Another technique that has stood the test of time is the art of making stocks and sauces. A good stock or sauce is the foundation of many great French dishes, providing a rich, flavorful base that can be built upon with fresh ingredients. Finally, it's important to mention the influence of French cuisine on pastry and baking. French pastry chefs are world-renowned for their exquisite cakes, cookies, and other sweet treats. Techniques like the perfect pie crust or the art of making macarons are highly prized and have become staples of French cuisine. So the next time you enjoy a meal of French cuisine, take a moment to appreciate the rich history and tradition that has gone into making it the world-class culinary experience that it is today. And now let us finish with a montage of beautiful imagery showing the evolution of French cuisine from the Middle Ages to the modern day. We'll start with black and white images of Paris street scenes and old cookbooks, then transition to vintage illustrations and paintings of French banquets, and finally move to modern-day shots of French restaurants, pastries, and wine. We'll end with a close-up of a chef's hands preparing a delicious-looking dish as the voiceover speaks the final lines. So what do you think? What are your thoughts on the history of French cuisine and its impact on our world today? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe for more fun and educational content. Until next time, bon appétit.